Welcome back to Two Wheel Trends, the home of raw torque, legendary designs, and the spirit of true motorcycling. Today, we're diving deep into a name that evokes pure nostalgia, reimagined for the modern era at the 2025 Harley Davidson Knucklehead. That's right, Harley has reached into its storied past to resurrect one of its most iconic machines. But this isn't just a cosmetic tribute. It's a full-on, re-engineered modern classic that manages to blend retro charm with cutting-edge engineering in a way only Harley can pull off. As soon as you set eyes on the 2025 Knucklehead, you know this bike isn't playing around. It doesn't just whisper vintage, it shouts it from the rooftop bar in Milwaukee. Let's begin by just taking in that front profile. The round LED headlamp housed in a bullet-style nacelle is unmistakably Harley, but with a modern twist. It gives you that throwback look while offering all the brightness and efficiency you expect from today's lighting tech. The front forks are beefy but not overdone, telescopic units that wear a brushed steel look, almost like they were pulled off a A47 model and dipped in 21 Street Century muscle. Mounted on a 19-inch spoked wheel wrapped in a wide classic look tire, the front end has a stance that oozes confidence and elegance. The fender arches gracefully over the tire with a subtle contour that pays homage to the original Knucklehead design. The front brake, a single large disc with a 4-piston caliper, is almost hidden, blending seamlessly into the retro aesthetic while ensuring powerful stopping capability when you need it most. Shift your gaze to the side profile, and you'll be hit with a wave of silhouette-driven emotion. The teardrop fuel tank, with its classic Harley insignia, is shaped almost identically to the original 1936 version. Harley's done something special here. They've given us a taste of yesteryear without compromising modern geometry. The tank features a dual-tone paint job with hand-applied pinstripes, and for those with a keen eye, you'll notice the tank-mounted instrumentation analog-styled but with a digital core hidden behind the glass. The seat is a solo saddle, spring-mounted, just like in the old days, but don't be fooled by its vintage appearance. Underneath the stitched leather is high-density foam and modern suspension damping that makes long rides more than just bearable, it makes them enjoyable. The exposed twin rear shocks are preload adjustable, hinting at performance capability that goes beyond what the eye sees. Just below, the Pi-A-Dire Assist R8 copyright assistance. That engine, a modern V-twin sculpted to resemble the legendary Knucklehead powerplant, complete with the signature rocker boxes that gave the original engine its name. But this isn't just a replica. Harley has built a 1440cc air and oil-cooled monster that delivers 86 horsepower and over 110 Nm of torque. It's the perfect blend of grunt and growl. The engine isn't merely styled like the old one, it roars like it too, thanks to a modern exhaust system tuned to mimic the bark of the original Knucklehead, without breaching modern noise regulations. Every detail, from the faux pushrod tubes to the polished cooling fins, has been meticulously crafted to echo the original engine's look, while the internals are all new. Dual spark plugs, fuel injection, ride-by-wire throttle, they're all hidden beneath the surface. And when you fire it up, it comes to life with that signature Harley rumble, but with a smoothness and responsiveness that would have been unimaginable in the 1940s. As we swing around to the rear, you'll notice the classic tail section. A curved rear fender drapes elegantly over a chunky 16-inch rear tire, also spoked to maintain that timeless vibe. The taillight is an old-school bullet design, now LED, of course, and the turn indicators are tastefully integrated without disrupting the bike's vintage soul. The rear suspension is subtly modernized while the Springer seat setup handles some of the load. The hidden subframe and twin shocks manage the road more capably than any rigid frame of yesteryear ever could. This is where old meets new in spectacular harmony. Harley could have played it safe and made a showpiece, but instead, they built a bike that invites you to ride. And when you throw a leg over and grab those wide, slightly pulled back handlebars, you feel it. That low slung riding position, the rumble at idle, the confidence of the geometry, it's all there. Twist the throttle, and it responds with a deep, throaty roar that feels alive. In terms of performance, the 2025 Knucklehead isn't about higher revving numbers or racetrack lean angles. It's about soul, but that doesn't mean it slouches. The torque curve is fat and friendly, giving you ample grunt from low RPMs all the way to redline. The 6-speed gearbox is butter smooth, with a slightly long throw that adds to the old-school experience without ever feeling sluggish. Whether you're cruising through a coastal town or taking a weekend trip into the hills, this bike keeps pulling and smiling. The ride quality is impressive, especially given the retro ergonomics. At around 290 kilograms, the Knucklehead isn't light, but it carries its weight low. That means cornering is predictable, composed, and more agile than you'd expect. The chassis is a rigid-look double cradle frame with modern steel composites, giving it the strength and durability needed for today's roads while maintaining its classic shape. Braking is handled with Harley's modern linked ABS system. While there's only a single disc up front, it's more than capable. The rear brake is equally robust, offering excellent modulation without too much bite, perfect for managing the big cruiser feel without inducing dive or rear lift. On the tech front, Harley has kept things beautifully restrained. A small LCD hidden inside the analog-style speedometer gives you just the data you need: a gear position, odometer, fuel range, and clock. There's no touch screen, no ride modes, no voice command, and that's entirely the point. What you do get is a bike that feels analog, tactile, and real. It's a physical riding experience, not a digital one, and that is incredibly rare in 2025. However, for those who crave a bit more connectivity, Harley does offer an optional Bluetooth module that links to their app, giving you navigation, ride tracking, and service diagnostics, all without ruining the cockpit's clean look. Now, let's talk about the price. The 2025 Knucklehead isn't a bargain basement special. Harley Davidson has positioned this bike as a heritage flagship, and that shows in the MSRP. Starting at $22,499, it's priced higher than a Softail Standard or even a Street Glide in some trims. But then again, the Knucklehead isn't trying to be any of those bikes. It's in a class of its own, a limited production tribute that delivers not just nostalgia but genuine riding joy. For collectors, that price is a no-brainer. For everyday riders, it might feel steep, but once you experience it in motion, once you feel the blend of old-school character and modern rideability, the value starts to make sense. This isn't just a motorcycle, it's a time machine you can ride, enjoy, and show off. Customization? Absolutely. Harley's already partnered with a number of aftermarket brands to offer bolt-on accessories, everything from alternate exhaust tips and solo bags to chrome dress-up kits and Springer fork retrofits. Owners can turn their Knucklehead into a full-on throwback chopper or leave it bone stock and still turn heads at every stoplight. In a world of ever-evolving tech and increasingly complex motorcycles, the 2025 Harley-Davidson Knucklehead is a reminder that simpler times can still be thrilling. It's a conversation starter, a showpiece, a daily rider, and most importantly, it's a visceral experience that celebrates the freedom and individuality that define the Harley-Davidson brand. So what's the verdict? If you're a fan of heritage design, visceral engine character, and handcrafted detail, this bike is a no-compromise homage to one of motorcycling's most important chapters. If you're looking for corner-carving performance or adventure bike practicality, this probably isn't your machine. But if what you want is something that moves your soul as much as it moves your body, the 2025 Knucklehead might be the best thing Harley has done in years. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into a modern legend reborn. If you love motorcycles that tell a story, hit that like button, subscribe to Two Wheel Trends, and drop a comment below. Would you ride the 2025 Knucklehead, or would you rather keep the past in the past? Either way, keep the throttle steady, the rubber on the road, and we'll see you next time with another deep dive into the world's most exciting machines.